Okay, we're going to talk about this whole in the Fed argument and inflation and all that. There's a lot of confusion in illiteracy, financial literacy, and literal illiteracy regarding this topic. Yes, it is true a house cost that much back then, and it sounds really good, but people didn't make that much money back then in terms of nominal value. And so, minimum wage was like $1. I do believe the standard of living was higher back then, but for different reasons. And um, I keep hearing this argument like in the Fed, it's the Federal Reserve's fault. The Federal Reserve, the Federal Reserve, the Federal Reserve. And it's pretty silly if you have an understanding of history because, like, there have been giant inflations and giant deflations before the Fed. Believe it or not, the Fed stabilized all that. And then people go, well, there's been wars since the Fed. And it's like, ever heard of the Civil War, people? Do you have any brains? Can you read an encyclopedia? Because, when I was a kid, that's what I did. I read this thing called an encyclopedia when I was bored in the summertime when I had nothing to do. And except play computer games or something like that or mess with computers. But yes, it is true. If you look at that nominal value, you go, wow, that's really cool. And yes, it was more affordable. It is demonstrably true that housing is not as affordable these days. Now, as to why we have the inflation, I believe it's because we keep demanding more spending from the government. And that could be because we want more benefits, we want our military stocks to go up, we want our Tesla stock to go up, and that stuff all does come from government borrowing, and they have to borrow it from somewhere, and it's largely from the Federal Reserve. It's not always. It can be from ordinary private citizens. It can be from other governments around the world that need U.S. treasuries as like a backstop to their assets, because it's like people don't understand. It's considered, and it's getting like to some place I don't even know with this whole stable coin thing. Like I can't even like I'm not even there yet. I'm still studying. But I feel like I know the system as it was prior to stablecoins. And yeah, I don't know the new system, but it's coming and it's coming quick. It might be like 2 months away. I'm not even joking. So, but yes, a house like this, like my grandparents bought a house in 1955 in like Los Angeles, and they were middle class, and that same house is now over $1 million, and it doesn't even look as good. They tore down all the trees, and it looks gross. I don't like it, but I liked it when I was a kid. There, so I understand. The frustration. But having a Federal Reserve Bank does not make this happen. It's the fact that we demand all this spending from Congress. Like, we all want our freebies and our gives, and we don't want to pay any taxes, and it's not going to work, and we let them spend money on stuff that's completely useless. And I thought that's what this new T-Man and his guy, the ketamine boy, were gonna fix. But I was just giving him a chance. That's what I said to somebody. He was like all about it, and I said, "All right, I'll give him a chance. Give him a few months. Let's see what they do." Well, we found out nothing, and it's worse than ever. And he wants to get rid of Powell, which is like the last freaking thing standing between us and $15 eggs or something like that. I'm not even joking. Powell was like, there's like gas and brakes with monetary policy, and he was trying to put some discipline on our government. So all these people screaming, "I hate the Fed," They're the reason there's inflation. Wham, 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 wham. You don't know anything. Shut up. Like, Powell was actually your friend. And now Trump's getting rid of him. And he's going to put in some lackey who's going to lower rates. And, you know, houses will be, a $300,000 house can be like 500,000. Kids won't be able to afford anything. That's just my prediction. All right. And I'm just kind of angry. This is my rant. So there.